Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Welcome to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us today. Not quite as sunny outside, but you know, one of the nice things about the rain, they call it liquid sunshine here in the state of Oregon. It makes things so nice and green. Glad to have you with us. It is the first Thursday of the month. Typically, this is when Dave Pouch has real estate talk. This month only, he's going to be on the air during his show this Saturday here on KGAL at 10 in the morning. And we're taking his place this month only. So if you're tuning in for Real Estate Talk, wonder where it is, it will be back at this time next month, the first and third Thursdays of the month here on KGAL. So today we are doing Valley Talk, and we've got some interesting things we're going to be talking about. Last night we were at the annual banquet for ABC House, an intervention program, very successful, very needed intervention program in Linn and Benton counties, dealing with kids specifically that are victims of sexual and emotional and physical abuse. They had an outreach to the community to explain their vision, explain the need for the next year. We had a chance to talk to the executive director of that organization. You'll be hearing that in the next 5 minutes, and we'll have a few words from her. In the studios today, John Donovan, who is the development director from Albany Helping Hands. And John, glad to have you with us on Valley Talk today.
Very good, Dave. Thanks.
Scott McDonald is also here. Scott owns S&E Car Care, and Scott is a success story of Albany Helping Hands. He helped Albany Helping Hands, in fact still does, in fixing some of their cars. He was in a situation in his life where he needed some help. Albany Helping Hands helped him get onto his feet to the point where he started his own business and actually wants to give back. You know, they say pay it forward. Give back to the community, and he's got an idea that he wants to share with the community about how to help single parent households who need help with fixing up their transportation.
Fixing their cars, exactly.
We're going to be talking about that this morning. And last half of the show, we are going to be talking about nursing. We were at the Lebanon Hospital yesterday and talked to a nurse there about some of the challenges, some of the joys, some of the trials, tribulations of being a nurse today in society and why she enjoys it. And so that was a very interesting conversation. That's going to be the last half of Valley Talk today. Do want to remind you that one of our goals in Valley Talk is if the Valley's talking about it, we want to talk about it. One of the things I want to do for quite a long time, we've actually had also some sponsors at the radio station say that they'd like us to do it as well. And that's take Valley Talk on the road. We want to get out in the community, get really involved in the community, talk to you guys about what's happening in your lives, what's happening in your businesses, and so on and so forth. And we want to go hit the streets, so to speak. First time we're going to be doing that is the 17th of this month at Mama's Fine Italian. We'll be broadcasting live there. One of the things we're going to experiment with is open mic, where we're going to have a microphone, and if you want to stop by and talk about things on your mind, then we can do that. Remember, this is live radio, and so it'd be nice because the kids and grandma are listening, and we ask that you be courteous in your comments, and if you're not, we'll turn you off. So that's how that works. Want to thank Quiznos in Albany for being a part of the Valley Talk family. Quiznos Taste on Us. We're giving away a $10 certificate every day during the show. The entries, we're starting to take those now. Send those to dave@kgal.com or call the station at 926-KGAL, 451-KGAL. Put the name in the hat, and at the end of the show, we are going to be drawing for a name and see who wins a $10 certificate, good for sub sandwiches, drinks, or chips from the Albany Quiznos only, right next to Novak's Restaurant and across the parking lot from the former G.I. Joe Sporting Goods location. Also today, we are giving away another 18 holes of adult golf from Golf Club of Oregon, 905 Northwest Spring Hill Drive in Albany. And we have 2 certificates here for 18 holes adult golfing at Golf Club of Oregon. Simply send me an email, dave@kgal.com. Put golf on the subject line. First person to do that will get today's golfing certificates here on Valley Talk. That's what's happening on the show today. Glad you're with us. So last night, we were at the ABC House annual dinner and presentation to the community. Had a chance to talk to the executive director, and here's how that went. And on this edition of Valley Talk here on KGAL, we are here talking to Jenny Gilmore-Robinson, the Executive Director of ABC House. And Jenny, we are here talking tonight at the annual banquet for ABC House. Big night.
It is a big night. We're really excited. We've gotten a great turnout, and everyone here is here to raise awareness about child abuse in our community.
So what's the message for people tonight?
The message for people tonight is that child abuse is a frightening issue, and it's pervasive. But there is reason for hope, because there are lots of things that our community can do to help. And it starts with just talking about the problem, and that's what we're doing tonight. Because the more that we talk about child abuse as an issue, the better chance we have of bringing it out of the shadows and actually beating it.
This is one of those things where people might be tempted to just throw up their hands and say, it's so big of a problem I can't do anything about it. But you guys are actively engaging and trying to make a difference, aren't you?
There is cause for hope, because, you know, every year the number of children we see at ABC House, which is the Child Abuse Intervention Center for Lynn County and for Benton County, and we keep seeing these numbers rise, but with the rise in those numbers, that means that's more children who are getting services that they need. That's more children who are coming out of the shadows, and we're making sure that we're helping them move towards healing and preventing further abuse. So as those numbers continuing to climb, it does feel scary, but on the other hand, that's cause for hope too, because that means as a community, we're getting better at recognizing the signs of abuse and reporting it.
Now, one of the things you're asking people to do tonight is get engaged and become part of the solution by giving donations and volunteering their time. So if people, for example, weren't able to go to the banquet, how can they engage and help ABC House make a difference?
Oh, there's lots of ways. If they're interested in volunteering, we can always use volunteers, all types, all talents. They can visit our website at www.abchouse.org if they'd like to get involved. Other ways to get involved are things like purchasing the Alon Brothers ABC House blend of coffee, which is being sold throughout the county. You can order it at ABC House. You can also pick it up at multiple vendors throughout town, including Citizens Bank, both in Corvallis and Albany, Umpqua Bank, Udale Engineering in Lebanon, Marrakesh Salon in Albany, and Severn Thomas State Farm in Philomath. So, and again, you could order it just from us. So that's
also on Mega Foods today too.
Yes, exactly, and Mega Foods. Mega Foods has been wonderful.
What do you need? Is it money? Is it more people to get involved? And how can people get involved?
I think there are a lot of things that people can do to get involved. I think if nothing else, the most important thing people can do is to learn more about child abuse as an issue. At ABC House, we offer community education, including darkness to light trainings, which are free trainings for adults on how to recognize the signs of abuse and what to do, how to respond when you hear about, when you do see it in our community, whether a child is disclosing to you or you see something that you're concerned about. So getting educated is absolutely important. We can always use volunteers, both in the office and also helping us with events just like this one, or our Runaway Pumpkin Half Marathon, which comes up in October out in Lebanon. And finally, I guess the other ways, and then the truth is we also do need donations. Of course, unfortunately, as we know, the numbers of children served keeps getting higher, and the resources available to us unfortunately get smaller and smaller. So every donation, no matter how big or how small, is important, and we put it to good use.
Okay, Jenna Gilmore-Robinson, Executive Director of ABC House, thank you for all you do to help kids.
Thank you very much, Dave. We appreciate it.
I'm Dave Adams. This is Valley Talk.
When you look out across the Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. Willamette Community Bank is here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other, in fact. Hi, this is Sue Kalina, Relationship Manager. Willamette Community Bank provides an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that?
Willamette Community Bank, service like no other. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Located in the beautiful and desirable North Albany Hills is North Creek, a new home community by Hayden Homes. Hayden Homes has been building homes in Albany for over a decade and continues its reputation of offering signature quality homes at an exceptional value. Join 1580 KGAL and 920 K-Show for a special Hayden Homes grand opening this Saturday. Enjoy free lunch, enter to win an Oregon Coast vacation, rounds of golf, and more. Take tours of the move-in ready or built-to-suit new homes this weekend at Hayden Homes grand opening at North Creek. For more information, visit hayden-homes.com.
Now you can manage your printers as easy as you manage your copiers. Managed print services from Ultrex. Maintenance, toner cartridges, and repairs, all in just one monthly payment. Hewlett-Packard, Lexmark, Brother, just to name a few. All you have to do is buy the paper. It's that easy. Just call Ultrex today and ask about their managed print services. Ultrex Business Solutions, your locally owned and operated copier company, proudly supporting our community. Ultrex Business Solutions.
Never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. Did you serve in the U.S. military between 1961 and 1975? The Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 585 invites you to join us at the American Legion Hall in Lebanon. Breakfast is on us. Vietnam Veterans of America is the national veterans organization congressionally chartered and exclusively dedicated to Vietnam-era veterans and their families. They aggressively advocate for issues important to veterans, support for the next generation of Americans war veterans, and service to our communities. Men and women-era veterans are welcome the first Sunday of every month at 10 a.m. But come early and let us buy you breakfast and get acquainted with the families, friends, and supporters of veterans of the other eras as well. We meet at the American Legion on Main Street in Lebanon. Vietnam Veterans of America is a community of fellowship with people who share your experiences, needs, and hopes for the future. Join us the first Sunday of every month for breakfast. It's on us. For more information, call 258-2525. We sure would like to see you.
Looking to save money on lighting fixtures, lamps, shades, gifts, home decor? Larry and Marge Tomlin, owners of J&J Electric, invite you to compare prices, but don't buy until you've seen the high quality and low prices at J&J Electric. Visit J&J's spectacular showroom. Allow plenty of time for browsing. You'll find antiques, gifts, home decor, and of course those beautiful lighting fixtures. The hometown folks at J&J Electric appreciate your business. J&J Electric, South Pacific at 22nd in Albany.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, KGAL.com.
This is Valley Talk. Welcome back to the show. I'm Dave Adams. It is 18 minutes after 11. Still taking entries for Quiznos Taste on Us. Send me an email, dave@kgal.com, or call the station at 451-KGAL, 926-KGAL. Hopefully we will give that to you. We also have 2 certificates for 18 holes of adult golfing at Golf Club of Oregon, 905 Northwest Spring Hill Drive in Albany. Put golf on the subject line of your email. Same email address, dave@kgal.com. Hopefully we can give that to you. And thank you for listening to us on the program today. Next, we're going to talk about Albany Helping Hands. In the studios, John Donovan, Development Director. Also, we have Scott McDonald, who owns S&E Car Care, Automotive Repair and Detailing, as the next guests on our Valley Talk show. Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you.
John, you've got an important event coming up. It's the 3rd annual Bridge of Hope Benefit Dinner and Auction, April 18th, 5 p.m. at the Lynn County Expo Center, Willamette Conference Center. Tell me about that.
Well, it's just a wonderful time that we celebrate all the good stuff that's happened for us in the past year, and then we also connect with our best friends in the community and our best new friends, and get an opportunity to update our story with the community. And so it's been a great thing from the beginning, and hopefully this year it will continue that tradition.
Tell us your story. What is Albany Helping Hands?
Albany Helping Hands is a homeless shelter, a faith-based homeless shelter here in Albany. Started in 1985 by Pastor Les Bailey. And it started off, the first activity was a Sunday afternoon. Pastor Bailey and a couple of his best people in his church went out in the street and handed out sandwiches to people who were in need. And that's grown today to where we have a 110-bed facility, and we are able to offer meals 7 days a week, 3 times a day, to everyone, the public as well as our guests. And we this year did 80,000 meals to folks, and we also were able, it's our best year ever in providing people to move on in their life. We had 60 people move out of the shelter into their own place and had income to maintain that. So that was a very exciting outcome. And we're very much interested in partnering with all the other agencies in the community that help with folks who are getting their lives back.
So obviously you want to help people, but you want to help them step up. You want to help them to get on with their lives, to become productive members of society. It's more than just, your homeless shelter is more than just a bed and a meal to house them for the night and the day and feed them. I was saying before the show started that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for life.
A very good point, because we have now 3 successful businesses that we operate. Our thrift store is becoming more and more important to us as a training center for a lot of folks to work, but it also provides a lot of income to the shelter. And we have some wonderful folks who have come through the shelter and are now managers at that store, who are extremely talented, smart people, and that is, exactly the kind of experience that helps people move up. And we just this year had we have really good cooks. The last 2 or 3 years, we've had wonderful cooks at our shelter, and one of those guys got a job working for a major restaurant on the coast. So we were sorry to see him leave, but we're also very happy that he was able to apply his talent and his skills on a full-time basis. So it's sort of also at our farm and garden and our woodlot that we've had people, work there, and then one of the goals is obviously they can get experience and training, and then they can move on into their careers.
One good example or success story is the gentleman in our studios with us today, Scott McDonald, the S&E Car Care, has his own business now. He is an ASE certified mechanic.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today. So tell us a little bit about your story. You needed help, you turned to Albany Helping Hands, and now you're owning your own business. So take us to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about maybe your situation.
How I got there. Well, in 2004, I found myself in prison for assault. I was released in 2010 in March. I came to the shelter, and it just kind of geared together, so to say. I needed them, and I didn't know I needed them. I really, at first, I didn't want to be there. After just a short time, like a month and a half maybe, I started seeing what they were doing for people, and I started relaxing, getting into it, helping out, volunteering my time, besides looking for work and trying to get back into life. The unconditional love that the shelter puts out there for people is just beyond measure.
Was that key to changing your attitude? When you first got there, you were probably resentful. Hey, I'll just get a meal and I'm out of here.
Absolutely.
Kind of attitude.
So
give us an idea about the mindset, what was going on in your mind, this mind change, this attitude change?
The attitude change came just by observing everybody that's there, the different walks of life that congregated there. And you soon started realizing, this is my family now. I have to take care of my family. Because you were realizing, like I was realizing, that they were there to help me. They encouraged me to help others. So that's basically what I started doing. I got with the director of the property there at the time, who was his name is Paul, and started telling him, well, I've got ASE certification in this. I can fix all your vehicles. I can fix electronics. I can help out. I can plumb. I can anything. And it just kind of took off from there, very, very slowly, but it did take off. More than once, I'd go to them and bring up to their attention, look, the truck's broke. It needs this, and we need to fix it. And more than once they would tell me, we don't have the tools to fix it. We don't have the money to fix it. So I would find what tools I could, and I would, with my knowledge, make the vehicle limp down the road another day, and that brought me to feeling better about myself. I did this, and I was able to help them, which in turn, they get to help all of us all over again. It just one handout to another handout to, not a handout, but my helping hand to them to fix the vehicle, allowed them to help me, allowed them to help someone else, you know, and it just made me feel really good about being there.
Did you find that they treated you more with respect than just as another problem case?
No, they treated me with respect from the get-go.
Was that helpful in turning your attitude around?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was, who cares about your past? We don't care where you're from. We care about you. We care that you get 3 meals a day. We care that you do have a place to sleep, so you're fully rested the next day to go do what you need to do. You know, if we didn't have something, they would make sure we had it. You know, more than once I was out at a job interview and I needed some decent pants, you know, and because I'm a mechanic, my pants are often stained and greasy. Go down to the thrift store, go get yourself some clothes. You know, they cut me a voucher and there I go. So I was feeling better about myself there, you know.
And you've also started your own business, S&E Car Care.
Yeah, this was a fun project to get going. One of the things I did working with the shelter, they put me to work in the thrift store. Part of my duties there were receiving the donated items, electronics, VCRs, TVs, going through those, fixing them up, junking what we had to junk or fixing up and selling what we could sell. Part of the other duties involved with the thrift store was loading up in the box truck, our main workhorse at the shelter, and going to the estate site and getting the items from the estate, loading them up and getting them to the store. Back in June of 2012, we got an estate where there were enough tools to supply a maintenance facility, basically an auto shop. There were 5 rollaways full of tools. I got with the general director, Paul, at the time, and convinced him that this is the opportunity to move right now, and we need to do this quickly. Go through, get all the tools we need to get the maintenance facility going so we can get the vehicles running properly. In order to do that, we needed to rent another facility to store the items. So we got that going. Paul and I decided to run with it and try to open a detail facility for the shelter where we could bring the clients from the shelter, get them to working, start generating some money for the shelter so we can keep the progression rolling. Come to find out, about mid-July, August, I found the need where I needed to start helping the shelter pay for the facility. So I did. I started covering the rent. And just kind of took off from there. Throughout the summer, last summer, I, out of my own pocket from working side jobs, I had enough money to buy the parts needed to repair the box truck completely, and it still looks like it's been through it. Yeah. But it runs really good. I mean, this thing runs great. One of the property manager's vehicles that the shelter does own, I've maintained that and had that in the shop more than once for various issues. Repaired that, and realized that over a period of 2.5-3 months, I'd put out a substantial amount of money out of my own pocket for this. So I went to the shelter again, and well, what do we do? How do we do this? Do I do this as a donation? Can you guys help pay for some of this? Yeah. So in December, I got a letter from the shelter basically saying, in lieu of paying you what we can see we do owe you, we're going to give you all of the tools that are now in the maintenance facility, and we strongly suggest you start your own business. So I took the bull by the horns by myself, registered with the state as S&E Car Care. I've generated enough money to buy insurance for the building and the business. Now I'm giving it back to the shelter.
What's S&E stand for?
Scott and Erica. Erica is my wife.
Well, congratulations on S&E Car Care. You have an idea about how to help single moms, people that are having a hard time and need help keeping their transportation, keep rolling down the road so they can go to work, go to school, so on and so forth. What's your idea?
I don't know how to get this rolling. I don't know who to contact, basically. My idea is single parents, single fathers, mothers, low-income families, elderly, low-income, it doesn't matter. My plan is to get with DHS or Community Services Consortium, CSC, and see if we can set up some kind of program where if the customer can buy the part some way, and we can get the consortium or DHS to pay half of my shop rate and then I can keep the cars running for the families, for the parents that need the cars for their children, and I give it back to the community that way. It's what I do best is work on cars. It's the only way I can give back to the community.
Somebody's listening to the show and they think, that sounds like a great idea. We'd like to get in touch with you. How do they do that?
They call area code 971-388-7158. That is my phone that I have on me at all times, and talk to me. Let me know how to do this, or if you can help too. It'll come through me back to the shelter, one way or the other.
Scott, congratulations on everything you've done. John, it's got to be very heartening for you to hear a success story like this, and that you're putting people back to work, taking a man that was in prison and turned his life around and now is a productive member of society. That's what you're all about, right?
Oh, yes. And, I was just thinking as Scott was telling this idea that we have a good working relationship with CSC and the other agencies, so we can assist in this process because we've done some really neat projects with those folks. But this particular project Scott described to me on our way over is one I know that is so important for every community, and I know of some communities that have actually got this going, and it just makes so much sense. And we can, I think, if we get a good idea and we're able to get the opportunity to tell the community, like right now, we've had some amazing support come from business people and good people in the community. So that's thank you for the opportunity to tell the story.
Well, that's what we're here for. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about issues of impacting and affecting the community. If the community's talking about it, we want to talk about it here. Or if the community needs to talk about it, we need to talk about it here. So let's talk about some of the challenges. One of the things that I've talked to a lot of organizations about is there's a lot of need out there right now. The economy has been struggling. There are some signs it's very slowly starting to come around, but there's still a lot of people out there looking for work. One of the challenges that a lot of organizations like Albany Helping Hands have had is that people that have been generous and helped them in the past are some of the people that need help now. So you've got a situation where the demand is growing, but the donations, the income to help pay for that is less. And so you've got this differential, this disparity that's growing, and it's got to be frustrating. Some organizations have said they're in a critical situation right now. What's your situation?
In some ways, I've been involved with a number of years volunteering for the shelter, and that what you just said is we've always been in a critical situation. It's really amazing what we've been able to accomplish considering the odds that we had to overcome from the beginning. When I first started working, we were down in a little church on Main Street, and they were doing amazing work with absolutely no resources. And so we talked, and they agreed that if we were going to really serve the community in a much bigger way, they were willing to work with us, and we would go out and try to really make this a much bigger community project. Well, yeah, then we got into a big old broken down building, and that they were going to tear down, but luckily they agreed, no, we won't tear it down, you can use it. So we fixed it up and used it for 5 years, and we were able to serve a lot more people. And in the process, it came, the idea came, well, you ought to have a permanent place, and you ought to have a good place, and that was fine, except we had absolutely no resources. So in the interim, we have now been able to build and remodel this property and get it with the help of a lot of our guests and volunteers in the community and support from various agencies. I've been told by people who are really in the know about homeless shelters, they inspect them all over the state, they said, you had the cleanest, nicest shelter in the state of Oregon. And that was quite amazing for, we just scrambled to get this done. And actually, it's true. It's a tough situation. But right now, we have to work hard to keep identifying people in the community who will help and can help. And we've had a couple of situations happen this past immediate 3 months, which are opening doors for us in a whole new way, which is very good. And actually the dinner auction has been a way for the 2 years we've done it to meet people who came to the dinner and came away afterwards and said, we really like what you're doing, and we had no idea this was happening, and we want to help. So it's really, it is a battle. And we have been through so many, I can't believe how many difficult times we've faced, but at the present time, we are in a situation where, we think we can really go forward and grow the whole
So what do you need? You need volunteers, you need money, both?
Volunteers, money are a wonderful
Volunteers
part.
In what area?
Well, we have some, we can really, here's our number one need right now. If I could get it today, I would have a retail garden manager for this spring and summer and fall months out at our farm garden. And we have some wonderful people there working in various capacities, but someone who had some knowledge and experience in retail and would be amazing how much good they could do for us in that role. So we're out kind of trying to find someone to fill that role right now, and we are looking for folks who can help us in certain parts, like, our thrift store is really growing, and it's becoming a much bigger income producer. But we're actually looking for finding a whole nother facility to expand into, because we have the problem of getting so many donations that we have to handle those donations and deal with them and separate and then still run a store. So there's some opportunities that really could increase the outcome tremendously.
Opportunities. Can you define that a little bit more?
Well, it's sort of like we're actually getting a lot of what Scott was describing, and he helped us tremendously in this process where we started getting estate sales, which have been tremendous for us because you get all kinds of different products, but you also have to be able to handle it and deal with it and sort it out. But and even so, I think one of my managers was telling me 2 days ago, I had to pull my guys off the woodlot to go fill up the semi truck, which takes away all the clothes that no one can use or whatever, and we sell it as rags. Mm-hmm. But we make quite a bit of money on a semi-load of rags. It was like, yeah, that's a real nice deal, but it's just that there's a role for I think if we expand and get that building, we're going to have another manager to really focus on that facility. And so
so you need a building to process?
Yes.
As a distribution warehouse?
Yes.
Processing cleanup center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get it ready for sale?
And to give you an idea how opportunities, can just come at you like Scott did, we have an opportunity right now working with a local high-end furniture maker. They give us all their waste wood. And for some reason, there's a fair amount of waste product in this process. But that individual has said, I would be willing to take your folks and train them in how to make birdhouses, really cool little craft items, and I would even sell them for them in my stores. So, and that part of that process would be to have a workspace for these folks, because we have a couple folks who already are very good woodworkers and help us a lot. I think it would be tremendous as another part of this, because when I look at the wood they use, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Some of it's very exotic woods, and so it's a case again where if we had someone focused on that piece, it would be a big deal for everybody.
Scott, John, if somebody is hearing some of this today and they'd like to help you engage with and develop some of these opportunities, how do they do that?
Well, they can definitely call me personally, which is fine. They can also actually, I can't get over how many people use the website, because I'm so primitive that I'm getting into it, but I had our website manager tell me this past month we had 45,000 hits on the website. It was like, good heavens, and he's really improved the website. It's way much more user-friendly, but that's a wonderful way, because you can see all the information and all the different activities, and you can see how you could interact. So that's a great way to do it.
Scott McDonald with S&E Car Care, if somebody has heard what you said about this, especially about the proposal about helping single moms and households that need help in fixing their transportation, how do they get in touch with you?
They call my number, again, area code 971-388-7158, and ask for Scott, and we'll handle everything as we can from there.
Scott McDonald and John Donovan speaking on behalf of Albany Helping Hands Shelter, and of course Scott is with S&E Car Care. When we come back on Valley Talk, we're going to be talking to Lisa Logsdon, who is a nurse, has been a nurse for 8 years, RN acute care at the hospital in Lebanon. We'll talk about nursing, and then at the end of the show, if we have time, we'll have a few more comments about Albany Helping Hands. This is Valley Talk, and we'll be right back.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. This is Charles Osgood. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Frankie Citro stays in Vegas because he loves the place and everything about it, the lights, the glitter, especially the excitement of the casinos. Unfortunately, he can't set foot in a casino, can't work, sing, dance, play, or even meet friends for dinner there, because 23 years ago, his name was entered in Nevada's Black Book. And what's in the Black Book stays in the Black Book.
If you're in the Black Book, you're dead. You mean nothing. They got no sympathy for you.
Our CBS News colleague John Blackstone asked Citro,
if this city doesn't want you, why do you stay?
Because I've never run from anything in my life, and I'm not going to run from them.
More after this. Why turn to a trusted choice agency for your insurance needs? Because a trusted choice insurance agency is an independent advocate that works for your interest, not for any one company. That allows them to find the coverage, the company, and the price to fit your needs. They pledge to treat you as a person, not a policy. When you're looking for a trusted friend in the industry for home, auto, life, or business insurance, turn to Trusted Choice. Visit trustedchoice.com today. When it comes to your business, forecasting cash flow can be one of your biggest challenges. Sage offers integrated online and on-premises accounting and payment solutions that provide simple, affordable ways to forecast cash flow, predict operating capital needs, and streamline billing and invoicing for faster payments. The result is better business decisions that get you closer to achieving your ambitions. Grow your business with confidence. Grow your business with Sage. Learn how Sage is helping businesses like yours manage their cash flow at sagetoday.com. John Blackstone, how did Frank Citro's name get in the Black Book anyway?
Frankie's name went in 1990 after he served a 2-year prison sentence for his role in a loan shark and bookmaking operation. You got involved with some guys who maybe you shouldn't have got involved with.
That's for sure.
What were you doing there?
I'm not about to try to tell you that I was a church choir boy. You know, that's not the way it was. I did whatever I had to do to earn a living.
He served his time, but 23 years later, his name is still in the Black Book.
For 23 years, he's been a changed man, says Nevada's former Lieutenant Governor, Lonnie Hammergren.
There's a lot of unsavory people that shouldn't be in our casinos. I don't think Frank is one of them.
A hearing hasn't been scheduled as yet. Getting your name removed from that list is all but impossible, says gaming official Jerry Markley.
The only way that anybody has gotten off the list that I'm aware of is through passing away.
Citro is determined to stay alive until he does get off the list. He may just be tough enough to do that.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Deep clean, squeaky clean, that's what you want for your home and business. TM Janitors has been providing just that for years throughout the Mid-Valley. Glowing reports from Philomath, North Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon. Happy, satisfied clients. Great value, too. A fraction of the price of the national franchises. Get a quote from TM Janitors today. Mention this ad and get $50 off your initial deep cleaning. Call now, TM Janitors, 570-9711. Make a note, TM Janitors, 570-9711.
Hi folks, Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. We're thrilled to have helped over 125,000 homeowners save money by refinancing with HARP. But there are millions more of you who could be saving big money on your home loans by getting HARPed. With HARP, you may be able to refinance with Quicken Loans even if your home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you get HARPed and start saving. Or if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Once again, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Valley Talk, weekday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Hey, I'm Dave Adams. This is Valley Talk, and glad to have you with us today. Nursing. We have a chance today to talk to a young lady who lives in Junction City and works at the Lebanon Hospital and has been a nurse for 8 years, is an RN in the acute care unit, and has worked in the labor and delivery area. Today we're going to talk about what she foresees as some of the challenges in the nursing profession, what drew her to the nursing profession in the beginning, and then what maybe coming down the road she sees as some of the future challenges in the nursing profession. Lisa Logsdon is who we're talking about today. Lisa, thank you for being with us on Valley Talk.
You're welcome.
So let's start at the beginning. What attracted you to be a nurse in the first place?
Well, I really wanted to be in a position to be able to help people and do something when they were really sick. I worked in a doctor's office in a family practice, and I really enjoyed that work. I loved taking care of patients and helping them out, but it seemed like when they got to their sickest point is when we just turned them over to the hospital. And so as I was in that career for a period of time, I wanted to move on, and I wanted to work where I could really help people out when they were the most vulnerable.
What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy most? Working in a general practitioner's office or working in acute care like you do at a hospital?
Well, they both had their challenges and their rewards. In the patient care office, we got to know our patients much better over a longer period of time, and that was really rewarding. In the acute care setting in the hospital, we get to see patients really quite ill when they get here, and over a matter of just a day or two or three, we see them turn around and get better, and that's really rewarding as well.
What challenges are there for somebody who's currently working in the nursing industry today?
Well, some of the challenges include that patients tend to be sicker when they get to the hospital for various reasons. And so we do have a lot more education to do with people. They tend to get discharged home earlier. It used to be people would stay in the hospital for a week or 2 weeks with this, particular illness, and now they stay in the hospital for several days. So there's a lot more teaching to do with family for how to take care of them at home. And the other challenge would be that the technology is always evolving, and the laws and rules are always evolving, and you have to keep up with that to be effective in the job. You have to keep up with what the most recent evidence-based practices are, and all the different standards of care which are continuously being updated. I'd like to add that we are still short of nurses in the country, and it would be really great if more people were interested in nursing and could get into nursing. I know the bottleneck seems to be at the education level. Getting into a nursing program seems to be the main challenge, but if you can get yourself into a nursing program and get through, the career will last a lifetime, and it's also actually really good practical knowledge to have.
You say people are sicker when they come to the hospital. Why is that, do you think?
I think people are waiting longer to go to the doctor, and it might be for financial reasons or health insurance reasons, or maybe they have conditions that they put off taking care of. People are busy and they have stress in their life, and they don't always take care of themselves first.
Seeing a lot more stress out there today?
It's hard to say. I've only been a nurse 8 years, but it seems like it.
There was something that you could tell patients. You'd say, boy, if I get in front of a microphone and I have a chance to tell patients, don't do this or do this, what would it be?
Well, it's hard to think of any one thing right off the bat, but I would say just try to take care of your own health. I know most people take their health for granted, myself included. I don't think too much about my health until I come down with a cold or get sick or injured and suddenly have pain that I'm not used to, and then it just is the only thing I can think about, just about. But make sure that you take care of yourself first, eat a healthy diet, exercise, get enough rest, and try to make sure you're doing well, and if you're not, get help early.
What is the biggest mistake we make in taking care of our own health today? One of the things that I've noticed when I lived overseas and when I came back to the United States, and people who listen to the show will know what I'm about to say. When I got off the airport, I got off the airplane at the Los Angeles airport after living in New Zealand for 9 months. One of the things I noticed most just struck me right in the face was obesity. That people in the United States, at least as compared to the people in New Zealand, we eat more, we don't get as much exercise, and we have a real problem with being overweight.
Well, I'd have to agree with you there. Anytime you travel abroad and come home, that really strikes a person when you get to the American airports. And it certainly is a big problem, and I think it affects a lot of our patients. And diabetes is another thing that we see quite commonly causing people to return to the hospital again and again because it just affects every body organ system. And it's a chronic disease, can be related to obesity, but it's something a person has to be really vigilant about taking care of themselves with.
If there's somebody listening to this broadcast and they're very interested in going into the nursing profession or the medical profession, but for sake of this discussion, let's say the nursing profession, what would you tell them if they are seriously considering becoming a nurse?
Well, I would recommend that they plan to spend at least 3 or 4 years getting through school. Now, officially, the associate degree program is a 2-year program, but it takes at least a year full-time to get your prerequisites, and it's very competitive to get in, so it often takes an extra year. A bachelor's degree of nursing is beginning to be required for a lot of job positions, even entry-level jobs. It's preferred. So if you can get into a 4-year program and get a bachelor's degree of nursing right off the bat, that'll save you having to go back to school in a few years.
So you're a nurse. Do you have a family? Do you mind if I ask that?
Yes, I'm married with one child who's 18 years old.
And you've been a nurse for 8 years. What did you do before you were a nurse?
Before I was a nurse, I worked for 8 years at a family practice office as a certified medical assistant.
Okay. How is nursing for the family life? Do you have, what do you work, 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts?
Well, I work 8-hour shifts on day shift now, so it works really well. I leave home at 6 in the morning and get home at 4:30, which works well for me. And when I started out here at the hospital, I was on night shift. Most of our nurses who are newly hired start out on night shift or a more irregular schedule. And on night shift, you would start your work at 11 p.m. and you get off at 7:30 in the morning.
Is one of the hardest things in being a nurse losing patients? Now, people obviously are going to come here and they're not going to recover because they're terminally ill or they have an instance like heart attacks or whatever. As you get to know these people and they die, not any fault of its facility or anything, it's simply, it happens. Is that something that's hard to deal with as a nurse as you've gotten to know these people?
You know, I thought that would be a real problem when I started nursing, and I was really nervous about that. But I found over time that as a nurse, you are in a professional role, and you have to keep your wits about you and keep your perspective so that you can give adequate, compassionate care to people in any condition. And it is, important to be able to offer all of our patients, especially our dying patients, comfort measures. And we try really hard to be vigilant that they are comfortable and are not anxious at the end of life. And that is something that we can provide to family members as well, so that we can be a good emotional support system for them. And that sort of allows us to separate ourselves, personally from the emotional situation going on, because we definitely have an important role to play that is more objective.
Now, you're an acute care nurse, so as compared to being a GP or general practitioner or family practice nurse, I'm sure there's a lot more stress or tenseful situations going on in acute care than there would be in the normal doctor's offices, where you get the sore throats and the runny nose and the skin knees and so on and so forth. Things happen, there's heart attacks and strokes, and people are in acute distress as far as their medical condition. Big difference in the nursing environments there, isn't there?
Yes, there really is.
So a lot more stress as being a nurse. Do you enjoy that?
Well, it's you don't have as many patients in the day, so that makes a difference. You definitely have to spend more time with each patient in the hospital because they require more care, and but you also have the ability to help them through their own emotional time. When they're in the hospital. Most people do have a lot of stress at being here and anxiety about being in the hospital. And so it's important at the beginning of the shift to go over what the plan is for the day and what kinds of things we're going to do to help them feel better, and to let them know, how they can get a hold of the nurse and what we have to offer them to help them through their illness.
One of the things I've noticed as they're laying out hospitals and remodeling hospitals is they're trying to create more of a homey environment, more of a situation like it's being at home instead of being in a facility. Some hospitals go, to the extreme, and it looks like you're in somebody's house. Does that help the patient's care?
Well, I think what they might be going for is a more relaxing environment that doesn't cause as much anxiety. Trying to hide the monitors and equipment a little bit can relieve stress for people, and give them the impression that they're maybe not as sick as all that equipment would indicate. I think it helps a little bit, but we have to make sure that we still keep our equipment available and in a functional, area so that we can work.
So you've been a nurse for 8 years. How long does a nursing career last? How long do you expect to be nursing?
Well, I am only 40 years old, so I expect to be nursing for 25 more years. But I probably will not make it the whole 25 more years as a bedside nurse, because it's a very physically demanding job. And so I don't know. We have a lot of nurses here that have been here for their entire career, 30 years as a bedside nurse, and that's certainly commendable that they can keep up that pace.
Sure, they've seen a lot of changes in 30, 35 years.
Yes, I'm sure they have. We've had tremendous changes even since I've been here.
Now, one of the first questions we asked was, what are the current challenges that a nurse faces? As you read the news, as you talk to other nurses, as you see what's going on in the world today, and as we look to the future, what do you perceive could be some of the future challenges in being a nurse?
Well, I think nursing has changed a lot from the past, in that nurses are treated more as partners on the medical team taking care of a patient. So we have to not just follow the doctor's orders, but know what the doctor's orders should be and make sure that they're appropriate and make sure that the patient gets all the treatments that they need. We're kind of the eyes and ears for the doctors as well. Since we spend more time with the patients, we're able to alert the doctors for new and changing situations. And so we have a lot more responsibilities that way.
If you had to pick one thing that you like most about being a nurse, what would that be?
I think the best thing about being a nurse is being able to do someone to help them when they have a need, being able to provide assistance when people need help, and people really appreciate that 99% of the time, and that's a rewarding, thankful position to be in.
Are you proud to be a nurse?
I am. I think it's a really valuable career.
Do you think it's as important, maybe in its own right, as being a doctor?
Definitely.
And why is that?
Well, because nursing is the place where all of the theory and orders in medicine and come together with taking care of the patient. It's what makes it happen. So the doctors, assess the patient and write the orders and say what they think should happen, but the nurse makes it happen and interacts with the patient and offers not only, medication, but also physical and emotional support, and is just there to help protect the patient. That's the nurse's main role, to make sure that they are as healthy as they potentially can be.
So you said one of the things we've mentioned a couple times, that you care about people and want to help them in their times of need. If there's somebody who doesn't know what they want to do with their career or their life, but likes to help people and thought about maybe being a paramedic or a firefighter or a police officer, and they just like helping people, what would you tell them about selecting a career in nursing as something they might want to consider?
Well, a career in nursing is really dynamic. There's a lot of different areas you can work. There's a lot of different roles you can play. You could be anything from an employer's nurse or a school nurse or a hospital nurse. You could be in administration or politics or the legal system. And so it's really a dynamic field, but it's also one that's based on science. And you have to have a strong background in science, and you have to have good math skills as well as a personality to engage with patients who are under stress and in need.
Are you required to take ongoing education?
The state of Oregon does not require specific ongoing education for nursing. It does require working a certain number of hours in order to renew your nursing license. However, most nurses have some kind of specialty certification. Like I have a specialty in med-surg nursing, and that requires continuing education to be renewed every 5 years.
So that med-surg nursing, that's in the operating room, medical surgery?
No, med-surg nursing refers to taking care of medical patients, like someone with a pneumonia or a broken hip, or surgical patients, somebody who's had their appendix taken out or a hip repaired. So refers to the type of patients that you take care of.
Anything you'd like to add in closing as we close out this interview about your career in nursing, or selecting it as a profession, or talking to people that might be considering it?
Yes, I would like to add that we are still short of nurses in the country, and it would be really great if more people were interested in nursing and could get into nursing. I know the bottleneck seems to be at the education level. Getting into a nursing program seems to be the main challenge, but if you can get yourself into a nursing program and get through, the career will last a lifetime, and it's also actually really good practical knowledge to have.
All righty. Lisa Logsdon of Junction City, a nurse for 8 years, who is an RN acute care nurse at the Lebanon Community Hospital. Thank you for talking to us today on Valley Talk.
Thank you very much, Dave. It's a pleasure.
Going out to lunch at a nice restaurant can be expensive, and the big portions put you more in the mood for a nap than a productive afternoon. Mama's Fine Italian to the rescue. The small appetite senior menu is just right. Anyone and everyone is invited to order from the Light Appetites menu for lunch from 11 to 4 p.m. with tasty entrees beginning at only $3.95. Why go hungry or go anywhere else for lunch? Eat healthy, eat light at Mama's. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of Tuesday through Friday and join your friends at Mama's for lunch. Dinner only on Saturday. Mama's features charbroiled steaks every day. Make reservations for dinner or pick up a bottle of fine wine. Seating is limited, so please call for reservations. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts Building.
Hi, Rebecca Grizzle from Linco Federal Credit Union here to say how proud we are to sponsor the 2013 Lebanon Chamber Biz Expo, April 16th at the River Center. Last year we had over 1,800 visitors. We want you to join us again this year. It's free. With 140 vendors inside and out, visitors can win prizes valued over $3,000. There's free samples, demonstrations, singing, dancing, artists, face painting. Doors open at 10 a.m. and close at 6. Admission is free. We've got something special this year from 2 to 4. We'll have a free shred truck outside. Bring those confidential papers and you can get rid of them safely. Biz Expo has something interesting for everyone. Animals, entertainment, a chance to find out all about the different services and products offered in Lebanon. Don't miss the Lebanon Chamber Biz Expo April 16th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the River Center. So mark your calendar to come early and stay late.
Oral cancer kills, and one of the surprises, young, healthy, non-smoking Americans are increasingly victims. April is Oral Cancer Awareness Month, and whatever your age, you're invited to a painless, free screening at Dr. Dennis Clark in Lebanon. The screening takes just 10 minutes or less, but is by special appointment. Your first opportunity is today, so call 541-451-1440. That's 451-1440 for a free oral cancer screening at the Laser Dentist, Dr. Dennis Clark, Lebanon.
More Ink Printing in Albany. The same people and the same passion for printing and serving you.
I'm Mike from More Ink. At More Ink, we can make your presentations pop, your business cards connect, and your brochures become bold. Letterheads, manuals, menus, flyers, event posters, and programs. We do it all at More Ink.
Mike and his crew at More Ink are still around to get your custom projects noticed. More Ink on Sandy M. Road in the Carriage House Plaza in Albany. Visit moreincalbany.com.
Call 541-928-2675 for More Ink.
Save the date, Tuesday, April 16th for the Lebanon Biz Expo. Over 140 vendors. Admission is free.
This is Valley Talk. Hey, it's about time for us to wrap it up. Keep listening for promos here on KGAL. Don't forget, on the 17th of this month, we're going to be live at Mama's Fine Italian. We're talking about issues affecting Lebanon as we want to take Valley Talk on the road. Eventual plans are to do live Valley Talk shows from Salem, from the State Capitol building, and more. Be listening for promos, and we will tell you what is going on tomorrow. What's going on is from the sidelines. Radio Ray and his compadres will come in here, talk about all things sports. Listen for promos. We'll tell you what's coming up on Monday's show. The rest of the Lisa Logsdon interview will be online by tomorrow on our website, KGAL.com. Just look for the Valley Talk link. I'm Dave Adams. Thank you for John Donovan and Scott McDonald being here in the studios. And that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Make it a good one. Talk to you later.